I'm going to try to explain what degrees of freedom are and where it comes from. So here you've got some data, we've got our values and the average. I'm using this very small sample set so that it's easier to explain. So a sampling distribution is created by repeated sampling from a population. So say we wanted to draw another sample set and we made these values some random values. You can see what the problem is. For our second sample set, we got an average of 7.3, but for our first sample, we got an average of 9. And we need to be working with the same average, otherwise it won't work. So what degrees of freedom means is that in order to maintain the average that we have, we can only assume random variables or random values for the first n minus 1 data points. The last data point has to be calculated so that the average complies with the average that we've calculated. So if we just do some trial and error, you can see that our value will need to be 8.5. It will need to be adjusted in order to maintain the average of 9 that we got earlier. 4. Oh, I see. Our average values of our first two variables are changing. Let's just do that. And then 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, there we go. So in order to maintain the average of 9, we've had to calculate this third variable or this third data point. So that wasn't chosen randomly. So what we say is that we've only got 2 degrees of freedom in our selection of this sample. We've only selected these two values from the population. The n minus 1 or the value of n minus 1 we had to calculate, so it wasn't selected from the population. So we say that we've lost 1 degree of freedom because we had to calculate this, the last value based on the average. So that's what degrees of freedom are, and that's why we obviously often see, for example, in the sample variance, you've got the sum of the difference between the x and the mean squared divided by the degrees of freedom, which would be divided by n minus 1. And that n minus 1 comes from the fact that when we are repeatedly sampling, the last data point has to be calculated so that we can maintain the average that was calculated. So that's where degrees of freedom comes from. And actually, let's say we've got 11 there. In Excel, if you've got a bit of a more complicated setup, we might use a what if analysis just to set the average to 9 by changing. So in this case, we would have calculated what the last value needs to be just by using the goal seek in Excel.